Welcome in, everyone. A very special Patch Chat. I'm your host, Bill Rowland, as we look back at the Final Four from 15 years ago, presented by Jim McKay Chevrolet. And joining us right now for a little one-on-one, Lamar Butler, a senior guard from that team. We want to catch up and find out what's been going on, really, for the last 15 years, Lamar. It's been quite a journey for all of you guys. Each one of you did a little bit of playing, whether it was overseas, whether it was here in the States, and then went on to do some other things. So let's start off with you. You finish off the Final Four. You finish off your school time there at Mason. What was your thought process? I mean, obviously you knew that the NBA wasn't necessarily going to be your calling card, even with the Final Four run, but what was the emphasis when you got out of school to want to continue to pursue playing basketball?
I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember we got off the plane. Coach L told us we were going to Portsmouth. We were walking. He was like, everything that I've told you about being a team player for this next week, forget it. He was like, this is about getting paid now. So we were literally, I know myself, John, and Tony, we were thrown right into the fire. We didn't have time to prep like everybody else. We literally played on, was it Saturday? Yes, played on Saturday. We flew home Sunday. We left on Tuesday. So we would still have, the battle and the injuries from the season. We go down to Portsmouth to play in front of NBA scouts, overseas scouts. So it was just like a whirlwind of basketball, pretty much. We never had a chance to really celebrate the Final Four. We went right into the next phase of our pro careers. Literally that Tuesday is when it started.
When you look back at that kind of whirlwind thing, is it disappointing at all that you didn't get to kind of bask in the glow, even though you guys didn't win the national title, but to be able to come home and kind of take in all that energy from making the Final Four?
I know for me personally, I remember I didn't watch the game Monday. I checked the score, and I was just like, we knew our game was the championship game, to be honest. And I checked the score, and it was just like, I remember sitting in my room like, this can't be real. We played our worst game of the tournament against Florida, and these guys are cutting down the nets, and they went by 30 in the beginning of the second half. It was almost gut wrenching. So I guess that was a dark cloud over my head for a while. I couldn't stomach. I didn't even watch the Florida game for like 7 years. I just couldn't stomach the outcome because we were so close. And knowing that you never had that chance again as a player, athlete, I kind of hurt. But I don't think I ever enjoyed it that first year or two because I was thrown right into the professional world right away. So I know Shaq and those guys got to, but me personally, I didn't. I'm pretty sure the seniors, John and Tony as well, didn't get to enjoy it like those guys did.
When you look at your road now, you played for a few years in what's now called the G League in the NBA. You kind of bounced around, which is kind of the version of what it is.
Right.
What did you learn from going to all those different teams and places and you getting to travel? Now, you obviously travel with Mason as well, but different traveling as a professional player as opposed to a college player.
Well, as far as the travel, I mean, you live out of a suitcase in the pro world, especially with the G League. You live out of a suitcase. You play, one city one night, the next night you play somewhere else. It's a similar schedule. But as far as the game, you have to be able to pick it up a lot quicker. And not to kind of toot my own horn, but my team as well. Like my teammates, you see those guys, most of the guys played. That's the professional level. It's more mental than physical. You got to be able to pick up on scouts, schemes, tendencies by your teammates, by players, opposite team. Everything is just faster. The speed of game, the shot clock shortens. That's one of the things that I learned. Every coach has different philosophies. But again, you just got to pick it up so fast and be able to think fast on the fly. If you're not a cerebral guy at the pro level, you're not going to make it. It is what it is. There's so many things, so many moving parts, and it's a lot faster pace.
It's interesting to me now, knowing that you're an assistant head coach over at Paul VI private school here in Northern Virginia, because I know all the time through your career at Mason, your dad was a longtime coach over in Maryland, and everybody would say, "Oh, Lamar's going to be the next. Lamar's the next guy. He's the next coach." And you would always be like, "Nope, not doing it." But you're also one of the guys, as we were talking off the air, you also said, never having kids, never doing that. Come on, and you're holding the little one. So what changed, Lamar? You got a couple of kids. You're now coaching. Tell me how that happened.
Well, I can go back when I first stopped playing. Again, it's like we were talking about before. I went to the Georgetown game to watch some of the guys that were younger than me. I mean, when they were, just starting out their basketball careers. Like, let me just go and see these guys. I know they looked up to me, so it was my chance, to kind of support them. I was watching Georgetown. Markel was playing. Markel Starks, and an old coach of mine was like, "What are you doing now?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm just here to watch the game." He's like, well, "You're coaching AAU." So I was thrown into the AAU game. I was coaching Anthony Cowan, who's at Maryland. So that's how I got into it. So then I stopped coaching AAU that summer. I was like, I just do it just because he said it. And I'm in the gym just watching some games. And the St. John's High School coach from DC comes in the gym. And one of the parents said, "Look, man, you're coaching my son during the year," who's also on that AAU team. So he literally debos and connects me to the coach and like, "You're going to coach." So that's how I got started at St. John's. But I really wasn't trying to get in it. I'll admit I got the itch when I did the year with the radio with you at Mason. Just being so close to Coach Hewitt. I mean, in my head, I would just watch and have my own scheme that close to the game. My mind is just going like a coach. And I'm like, you know what? I can't fight this itch anymore. So once I got into it, coaching, I haven't stopped, to be honest.
And I'll be honest with you, that was an interesting and a year for me that you and I doing the radio that I learned a ton from you, just watching how you processed the game, how you went through it, seeing the things on the floor. Even doing this for a long time, there's always something that you miss or you don't see.
Yeah, right.
So I was always impressed and wondered why you hadn't gone that route, because I'm like, this guy's way too smart to be sitting next to me on the sideline talking about this stuff. So I'm glad you found that calling. How much fun has it been for you to see now, guys, because you're at a premier program, you're in a top 20 program, not only here in the Washington Post area, but in the country. How fun is it for you to send guys to Duke, to Kentucky, to North Carolina, to Mason, wherever it may be, and to kind of live through their success as they go through their college careers?
Honestly, the way I look at it, Bill, is I see myself 15, 20 years ago. Like, what would you tell yourself 15, 20 years ago outside of basketball? That's how I see it. So when I'm coaching, I just see myself from 15, 20 years ago. Like, what pitfalls could avoid? So all I do is just coach them on the things that I've learned since I've been playing basketball, the things they're going to come up and face in their basketball careers. I try to prepare them. A lot of these guys have NBA aspirations. So if that's your aspiration, well, let's coach you like an NBA player. So when we get to the NBA, we're ready. It's no, let's get ready. Because I know if I can coach you like you're, preparing for the NBA, high school will be fine, college will be fine. You know what I mean? So those are the type of guys I'm coaching, and a lot of them are receptive, some of them aren't, but that's just my approach to it, to be honest. And I just love teaching the game. I love helping guys get better. That's been my niche since I started coaching, and I just love it.
How many of the guys, because again, it has been 15 years, and you're coaching high school kids, so you're getting to that point where they probably don't, you're at that point now, they don't remember watching that.
Oh, no, they don't at all.
Final Four run. How many times do you have to pull out and be like, hey, you need to listen to me. You haven't played the Final Four yet. I have.
It's funny. My first day, so my first job at NCAA at St. John's, Ant Cowan. So I got a story for Ant Cowan, Jeff Doughton. First day of workouts, I had my stuff with me. So this when I was still active. So they were like, we saw what you did. We saw your resume. Check rock. Like, Anthony puts the ball in my chest. So no stretch, nothing. I'm like, okay, after practice, let's go. So those two guys checked up. We played one-on-one. Obviously I won. But that's how you have to earn your respect. They don't look at your resume. They don't care. They want to see what you can do now, even though mid-30s. They don't care. So that was how I earned my respect for those guys. I'm not just the guy that talks it. I can actually show you what I've done and what I've learned. So yeah, that was the challenge, my day one of coaching.
Tell me about your two little ones. How's the family?
Man, I don't get any sleep, as you can see. I have a 1-month-old. She was born on Halloween morning. So she is sleep all day, up all night like a vampire. So my sleep schedule was all jacked up. I have a 4-year-old daughter, Riley, and she is 4 going on 45. So she runs the house. She runs me. She runs the dog. So I'm just living, man.
Is she a baller? Riley, your older one?
I don't know yet. She's an entertainer right now. She's entertainment mode. She wants to sing and dance, and she actually had a TV commercial. I haven't posted them. I'm not the big, social media person, but she did a commercial for a company in New York. My wife has with a modeling agency. So she's in the entertainment field. So I just got to watch. Literally about a week or two ago, she asked to watch a basketball game for the first time. But you want to know who the team was she wanted to watch? VCU.
Oh, no. Can't have that.
Yeah. So I'm watching. I'm happy at the same time. Like, why would you want to watch VCU as your first basketball game? So we'll see.
Last thing for you, Lamar, and again, we appreciate all the time you've given us for this. How do you guys keep in touch? Gabe's over in the Philippines. Jai's here. Father and Will have been overseas, and everybody's kind of spread out. Sammy's down in Florida still, I think. How do you guys keep in touch? And what's the one thing that you take away, whether it's the 4-year, 5-year time that you spent here at Mason because you had a redshirt season, or just
7 years? I was at Mason 7 years.
or
Sophomore year of high school, I was at Mason.
even just the 3 weeks in March of 2006. What do you take away with that with all these guys?
Family. We were legit on the court and off the court. When you saw one, you saw all of us. I'll say that. I've been saying that since that 2006 year. We have a group chat on WhatsApp. Not everybody's on there, but most of the guys are on there. So that's the way we keep in touch. I've actually had to mute it some days. It just goes on fire. But that's how we keep in touch. I talk to Tony all the time, obviously, because he's coaching. I have the kids, so he's checking in to see what we have. I'm checking in to see how his season's going. If I can help him put eyes on kids or refer some kids to him. Shaq, we play Madden all the time. I haven't played JV recently, but me and Shaq, we put the headsets on. We're playing Madden. He said, and Tim, I talked to Tim because he's training. He actually trained at Cowan, so we were talking a lot recently because I was, trying to get some feedback on Ant, see how he was doing. But yeah, we've been in contact since 2004, since those guys stepped on campus. It's just a different, like Coach Cherry said, it was a different feel for that team, the camaraderie, just togetherness. I know Coach Cherry used to always say together, but that team really was together on and off the court, and it still shows today.
Lamar, thank you for your time. As always, we appreciate it. Thank you for what you guys did 15 years ago and continue to represent George Mason in your post-collegiate career. It's been phenomenal. We thank you for the time, and good luck with everything. And anytime you want to throw some of those 4- and 5-star recruits in the state of Fairfax, I think we take them.
Listen, I got one, Josh. We got one at Josh. I didn't really know Ronald until he committed. We developed a relationship. But hey, Josh, I told coaches, hey, you got to get Josh, man. So I think we got one more coming down the pipeline. We'll see.
Perfect. Thank you, Lamar. This has been a Final Four Rewind on Patch Chat, brought to you by Jim McKay Chevrolet.
All right. Thanks, Bill.